Welcome to Pilates. It is freezing cold outside, which is why I didn't go outside. But it's nice and warm in here, and hopefully you have a nice warm environment that you can do Pilates. We're going to get started. Go ahead and find your mats. Feel free to put your device sort of closer toward your feet so you're not constantly straining your neck to look at it. And we're going to start with our breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You guys have heard the drill before. If you want to play music, modify any of the movements, especially with keeping your head on the ground or your knees bent. And then feel free to take water breaks at any time. Inhale. Through the nose, exhale. Out the mouth. I keep talking about drinking hot chocolate. And this entire winter, I still haven't had my hot chocolate. So I think I'm going to have hot chocolate tonight. This feels like one of those nights to have it. Speaking of hot chocolate, when we do planks today, you got to pretend there's hot chocolate on your butt. You can't spill it. And right now, if we're thinking about hot chocolate, we're going to inhale through the nose and cool our hot chocolate down with our breath. All right, let's roll on down. Continuing to breathe, inhale and exhale. We can imprint the abdominals. Imprint the lower back by drawing in the abdominals on that exhale. Inhale, return. Exhale, imprint. Inhale, return. By return, I mean return to neutral. Your spine generally should be in neutral position when it's not doing any sort of flexion or arching. A neutral spine generally has a little arch in the lower back and a little sort of roundness in the upper back. The problem is that most of us round too much in our upper back. And I say that for everyone, including myself. So let's go ahead and imprint the lower back and keep the imprint this time. So we're not coming in and out of neutral anymore. Keeping the knees bent at 90 degrees, you exhale, tap the toe out, inhale, return. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Feel free to continue to alternating the legs, exhaling as you lower, or you can do both. So alternating or both. Those are the only two options, unless you decide to stop moving your legs. You don't have to take the toes all the way to the floor. You always want to feel and listen to your body. We're trying not to lose that imprint. Press into the floor if needed. Exhale. Inhale. The last two. Again, really focusing on keeping the knees at 90 degrees. And now here you can drop the heels toward the butt, feel the relaxation of the quads, and bring the feet down to the mats. Coming into neutral, take a breath in, and then exhale, imprint, squeeze the butt, press through the feet, roll up into your shoulder bridge. Inhale. Exhale, slowly rolling down, one vertebra at a time. Inhale. Exhale, rolling on up. Keep the glutes engaged until the tailbone comes back to the floor. Inhale here, and as you're exhaling to roll down, keep the glutes engaged. Keep your butt engaged, and then relax it when the tailbone hits the ground. Two more times. Exhale to roll up. Actively reach those knees away from the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, rolling on down. And final time. Yeah, rolling up from the head side, head, neck, and shoulder blades. Roll up. Inhale, and then they roll down sequentially, shoulder blades, neck and head. Although the neck never really touches the nuts. There are cervical vertebrae. So that would be the neck, the parts of your spine that's in your neck. So that's why we always talk about keeping the head and neck aligned with the spine, because really that neck portion is still a part of the spine. Exhale. Lift using your abdominals. No momentum here. Nice, slow, controlled movements. When we start doing hundreds, you can keep your feet here on the floor. Palms are down. You can pump those arms, or you can lift your legs to tabletop. Legs, knees, and feet together. So we're just doing a couple crunches in each position, in each leg position. And then when we finally do hundreds, you can decide which leg position or positions you want to be in. So you can always change. So straightening up the legs, this is another option. If you want to start with your knees bent at 90 and then finish with your legs straight and do half and half, you can do that. And the final version is legs on the diagonal. Any diagonal you choose. The lower the leg diagonal, the more challenging it is to maintain imprint. So go ahead and pick your leg position. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Eye gaze on those knees. Reach the fingertips and pump. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. Exhale. 20. Inhale. Exhale. 30. Inhale. Exhale. 40. Inhale. Exhale. 50. Remember, you can change your leg position. Change up the angle. 60. Make it a little harder for 10 maybe. 70. Make it a little less hard the next 10. There's 80. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 90. Last 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in, flip over onto your stomach. This is where we really want to keep the head as part of the spine, even though there aren't technically any vertebrae in the head. So forearms on the ground. Even before I start, you'll notice that my head, neck, spine is all in one flat line because of the floor. When I lift my chest, I want to imagine that I lifted my head, neck, and chest all as one unit. The curvature of the spine happens at the mid to upper back. The curvature doesn't happen right here on my neck. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keeping the tops of the feet resting on the mat for now. If you don't need that arm assistance, reach toward your toes. When we add the arms by reaching, you get a little more action in the shoulder blades as well. So take the option of not just reaching toward the toes, but also opening up your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades towards each other, all at the same time that you lift. None of this needs to involve your head, right? So I'm keeping my chin tucked. I'm keeping my eye gaze on the floor. Let's do one more. Good. Sit back. So take your hands under your shoulders, push yourself up, and give yourself a nice spine stretch. So spine stretch is a curve of, everyone good? Yeah. By the way, anytime you want to do this stretch, just go into it. You can stretch and take breaks anytime. All right, so we're going to do our plank. Remember what I said about hot chocolate? Yeah, don't spill it. Nobody likes spilled hot chocolate. So on my elbows, underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under, like actively reach the heels to the back of the room. If your butt's a little high, but you feel your abdominals, okay, that's great. The important thing is that you feel your abdominals, but you don't feel strain in the lower back. So abs are tight. I'm drawing my belly button up towards my spine. I'm squeezing my butt because that pelvis area needs to be stable. And then I'm also squeezing my quadriceps. All right. We're going to do planks again later on, and we're going to add some leg lifts to it. But for now, this is our plank warm-up, setting up proper positioning and learning how to breathe in this position. One more breath in and exhale. Good. All right. Now I kind of start the workout almost the same every time, but there's also some variations. So I really like doing half roll back because it sets up our C curve, demonstrates gravitational pull. So here's our half roll back, keeping those shoulders down and relaxed away from the ears. Exhale to inhale to sit up, fully lengthened or keeping that C curve. You actually do want a C curve. You don't always want to keep your spine in neutral. That's not the purpose of Pilates. Pilates takes your spine through all the different positions it can be in. One is neutral, another is flexed, so the C curve. Another is arched, which is what we're doing when we're lying on our stomach and arching the back, lifting the chest. The other is rotation, which we'll do in 1 second, and then lateral bend. We bend to the side without rotation. So there's rotation. How do I know I'm rotating? Because I have one hand forward and I've opened up my chest towards you guys, all right? And my butt hasn't moved. Sweep it, the other arm to the other side, open up the chest. So one arm stays in the front, it doesn't move. The other arm sweeps as far back as you can go. I look at my thumb, looks nice. I bring it back. Exhale. So you can keep those toes anchored to the mat. So you don't want to reach back and then have your feet pop up. And try to keep it anchored. Okay, let's try a variation. So I'm not going to have my hand all the way to my chest, but it's not going to be forward. It's a little closer. It's going to make it a little more challenging. So test the waters here. Maybe you don't want to go as far back the first time. Go here, and then we rotate. Yeah, my hands are still sort of stacked over each other. Center, and up. Now, if you have your hand all the way on your chest, it is going to be much more challenging. So I kind of have it sort of midway between outstretched and my chest. And here, rotate, center, and lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. I'm just alternating the breath here. Feel free to breathe however works for you. All of this is pretty challenging, so it feels like I should always be exhaling. Let's do one more time to each side. Trying to maintain that distance between my hands and my chest. And now we're going to roll all the way down. Yeah, I'm going to have us outstretch for full roll up. It's okay if you need to use a little bit of momentum. And it's fine if you want to use the single leg extension. All right, let me do the roll up first. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, reach forward, dive towards your toes. Inhale, start rolling back. Exhale, place the spine down. So if you get stuck, feel free to use a leg. So I'm going to keep my one leg at tabletop to start. And when I get stuck here, by straightening that leg with a little bit of momentum, it helps with the rolling up, okay? So view these as options for getting what you need done. And what we need to get done is to roll ourselves up, right? We don't want to get stuck here and stay down. And part of the reason why it's important that you get all the way up is so that your body gets used to this motion of utilizing your spine, utilizing your abs to peel yourself up. If your spine is a little stiff and you get stuck, well, the more you do this roll-up motion, and by the way, rolling down, this motion too, resisting gravity, the more you do it, the more your spine becomes pliable. It becomes more mobile. Inhale. Exhale. Every time I do the roll-up, you're always welcome to do the single leg version. And by single leg, again, I just mean one knee's bent and then straightened up. Activate your legs. So my quads are engaged right now. My heels are heavy on the mats. It's not just my abs doing work. Good. And then don't forget that last little stretch. Feels good to do the stretch here. Right here, I'm reaching forward. It doesn't look like I'm stretching because I'm barely bending down, but I'm just pretty tight. So here, I feel the stretch. All right, I'm just gonna fix my pants. Okay, we're back on the floor. There's some stuff I did last week that were new, and so I'm gonna do that again. Before we get into that part, we're gonna do our ab series. So single leg stretch, reaching the legs on the diagonal, high or low. Head, neck, and shoulders can be on or off the ground. Good. I'm going to do this out of order today. So this is our first exercise, which you normally see done. That's fine. Extend one leg straight, the other bent. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I'm exhaling as I reach. Inhaling to switch, exhale, reach. Inhale, exhale. Gently guiding that knee in towards your chest. Good. I'm going to start to slowly sort of bicycle my legs. So instead of just an in and out, I'm making more of a circular motion. Good. If this feels confusing or weird, don't worry about doing it. It's just a variation. You'll notice that right here, my legs start to get straighter before it bends again. And then what I eventually want to do is segue into scissors. So I said we're doing this out of order, so this is usually the last exercise. So now we're doing scissors. Alternating the legs, trying to keep them straight. Again, rest your head if your neck feels fatigued. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now we're going to go into obliques. That's the rotation. Hands are going to be behind the head. Normally you do it with your knees bent. And if you would like to try this with your legs straight, try it. So hand behind the head, rotate toward the higher leg. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Turn towards the knee that's coming in. And then at the moment that you're like, I've had enough of this, I can't stand it, then bend your knees and go back to your more comfortable, the bicycle that you're used to. So this is the bent knee version. Okay, everyone here? We're in familiar territory. Well, everything's familiar, it's just out of order. Last two. Last two. I mean, last one. Sorry. Sorry, I can't count and I can't speak. So what's the one exercise left that we haven't done? This is usually in the smack middle of our ab series. Double leg stretch. I'm going to also add a variation to this, but let's set it up first. So I'm going to just turn my body here a little bit. So normally I say to keep your legs together, okay? But what we're going to do
is we're gonna reach it out, open it up, little straddle, back in, and return. Did everyone see that? Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. What are your arms doing? Nothing. They're just reaching up. And I do mean reach. Keep the reach going. Exhale, reach. Keep the reach high. Return. And now you're back to starting. Okay? So I just want to turn to the side. Don't worry about doing the straddle splits or anything. It's just creating the challenge for the abs to do something with the legs. It's not like, hey, please open up your legs as wide as you can and get a stretch at the inner thigh. Although if you do get a stretch at the inner thigh, that's fine. That's not what the goal is. The goal is about endurance of the abs. Your abs have to work harder while all that opening and closing is going on. Last one here, right here. Whew. Okay. Your abs should hopefully be fatigued. And because they are fatigued, we're going to flip over. We're going to work on our lats. So we don't often work on our upper back muscles. If you've ever done a pull down or a pull up, you're basically bending your elbows as you pull either a bar down to your chest or you pull your chest up to a bar. It's the same motion here. So find a narrow X by reaching your arms and legs to the corners of your mat. On the inhale, I'm going to lift my chest and pull my elbows back and down, like I'm doing a pull-up or a pull-down. Okay, it's that pulling motion. Reach forward, relax. Inhale, pull. There are two things happening here. One is that my elbows are pulling back toward my toes, but at the same time, I'm lifting my spine up and my elbows are pulling up to the ceiling, squeezing my shoulder blades together. Okay? Inhale, exhale. So it's up to the ceiling and back toward the toes. Inhale, exhale, release. Chin down, head and neck aligned with the spine. Would you like to lift your feet? Okay. If you want to lift your legs will stay straight. Squeeze your butts, quads come off the floor. There's not going to be knee bending if you're going to lift your legs. And then just listen to your body. If it's too much for your spine, especially your lower back, keep your feet on the ground. And pull. Release. Elbows up toward the ceiling and back toward the toes. Let's do one more. And we are stretching. We're going into a plank after this. In case you need mental preparation, I'm just telling you the message. Okay. This time when we do the plank, I'm going to do my elbows again. But we're going to add 2 pulses. Before I get to the plank, because it's going to be tiring, here are the 2 pulses. So you lift your leg is going to be straight. It's going to be pulse 1 is the heel. Pulse 2 is point. And then reach. So it goes flex, point. Oh, reach. I can't do it. This is like one of those trickaroo coordination things. No, I can do it better once I'm here. Okay, first, let's find the plank. So it goes flex, point, and reach. And then back in. Actually, let's do the opposite. Let's go point, flex, and then keep it flexed as you bring your toes back down, because we do want your toes flexed when you hit the mat. So it's going to come up, point the toes, pull it toward your butt, pulse again, heel, and reach. We can do that a little faster. Pulse, pulse. Point, flex. Point, flex. Now, if you still want to do flex point, go for it. So it goes flex, point, reach. But when you reach, you got to take the foot. Okay? So a couple more on each side. Let's see. Point, flex, reach. You don't have to do it super fast, but you don't want to do super slow because it's just tiring. Point, flex, reach. Kick your butt twice before you put the foot down. Point, flex, reach.
You know why it's so tricky? It's because you can't actually look at your feet while you do it. You have to just feel what your feet are doing. One more time on each side. Point, flex. Point, flex. All right. Did that take so much of your concentration you forgot you're doing the plank? Goodness. That's super challenging. For me too. All right. Well, now we get to lay down. Now we get to do our butt stuff. Yay for butt stuff. There's not that many variations of what we can do when we're lifting our hips. But the reason why this is an important exercise is because it stabilizes our glutes, which helps with pelvis stability. We are going to lift one leg up, and we're going to do front kicks. So if you've ever done a kickboxing class, the first thing you do before you kick is you chamber the foot, then you kick. Rechamber and down. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Check out your hips. Hopefully they don't move. I'm flexing the foot. There's my chamber. Kick. I'm really driving my heel up to the ceiling. Feel that stretch, not just the hamstring, but also the calves. Pull the knees in. Pull. And then down. Got it? One more time on the other leg. And then we're going to do the same leg 8 times. So pick whichever leg you want to start with. Kick, pull, kick, pull, kick. Actively pull in, actively extend out. Kick, pull. Like you want to shove your heel through the ceiling. 4, 3. Guess what? Your other leg, stabilizing. 2. Your other butt cheek, 1. Doing a lot of work to keep that hip up. Take a break. Bring it back up. Other leg. Kick it out for 8. Feel the hamstring stretch and the calf stretch. 7. Pull. 6. 5. How's your butt? Staying up. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Now that's a lot for your flexibility, but now we're going to kick a little further away, so more at an angle. Less challenging flexibility-wise, a different kind of challenge because your leg goes a different way. Pull your knees in, first leg in, now kick. Imagine there's someone standing right like at the edge of your feet at the mat, and you just want to kick them away. In, out, abs tight. Again, less flexibility here in terms of our hamstrings, but probably you feel more abs because we're going at an angle. Last one. Really try to drive out the heel. Okay, so we're flexing our foot intentionally on this. Now don't forget about the main work. What's really working here? The one leg is still on the ground. We're so focused on the kicking leg, we gotta not forget about this guy here. Here we go. For 8. 7. 6. 5. Don't let your butt drop. 4. 3. If I count out loud, I count correctly. 2. If I cue other stuff in, who knows? Who knows what's happening with my counting? All right. If you want to start with the front leg, you might want to flip around, but I'm going to be kicking with the top leg. So this happens to be the same leg I just did. Here are your options. Elbows, shoulders, no sinking in, lifted here. And if you want to kick from here and kick as high as you can. Now look at my foot. It's not turned up. It's parallel. This is important. This is a different muscle group. This is your outer thigh. You will feel this leg. Now, if you want to feel more work, you can be lifted here. So your 2 options are here or here. Got it? So pick it now, and then whatever we do on this side, you got to do on the other side. So I'm going to be lifted. Here we go. Kick as high as you can with your foot in parallel, though. So if I start to go too high and just turn my foot out, not right. As high as you can, keeping the parallel. In, out. Pull in, abs tight, out. It's okay if your butt's on the ground. Doesn't mean you're not working through the shoulder and the abs. You're still staying lifted out of it. Last one. I think that was 8. Okay. All right. Switch sides. This is what it's like when you decide to combine kickboxing and Pilates. No, just kidding. These are actually, they do look like kickboxing moves, but these are actually Pilates. Pilates things, Pilates principles, Pilates exercises. Pilates emanates all things. Okay, so same thing. Oh, what did I do with this arm on the other side? I don't remember. I'll just put it up here. 8, 7, in, out. 6, 5, 4. There's ab work if you pull the knee in. 3, it's not just focus on going out. Focus going in. 2, in and out. Good. All right. I think that was our first time trying that, and might have felt a little new. So I'm actually going to have you do it again. And anytime you do something twice, you're like, oh yeah, it feels really comfortable the second time. If it felt pretty comfortable for you the first time, I'll give you a little variation. Otherwise, do it exactly the same. This is the second set of 8 reps on the first side. Okay. If you want a variation, you kick, lift. Okay. So wherever you decide to kick, you just do an extra little lift before you pull it back in. It's not going to change that much timing. Ready? Out, lift, down, in. Out, lift, down, in, or you're going out, in. Got it? You're doing good. Let's do 4 more. 3. Keep that foot in parallel. 2. Toes and kneecaps facing me. 1. Well, I probably shouldn't say that. I don't know what direction you're facing. Toes and kneecaps should face the same direction as your face. I'm sorry to say, but if you had your hips lifted in the last round and you're tired, you still got to do it for this round. All right, here we go. Out, in, up, down. Sorry. Out, up, down, in. Out, up, down, in, or out, in. Yes, I know. You just want to really speed through this. So you can go relatively fast, but don't go so fast that you don't feel your muscles anymore. Last one here. Yes, well done, well done. So that hits our side planks, it hits our outer thighs. We're doing our glutes. Let's get back on the mat. Go back to our abdominals. All right, so go ahead and lengthen your legs out. Whew. Hands behind the head. So this is something I did last week. We're really going to slow it down. Do it with me. And if it seems like I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm going super slow because I'm making it up, well, that's not true. I just want to go that slow. So here we go. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift the neck and shoulders. Inhale, pull the leg in. Exhale, turn toward that leg. Inhale, back to center. Keep the shoulder blade up. Exhale, reach the leg. You can point your toes if you want. Inhale, lower. How are we doing? That was 1 rep. And now we're going to go to the other side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale, leg. Exhale, turn towards that leg. This is the other leg now. Inhale, back to center. Stay lifted. Exhale, reach. Strong legs. Squeeze those quadriceps. Inhale, down. Exhale, up, head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, legs. Keep alternating the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Wait, did I mess up somewhere? Okay, well, take a breath in here. Exhale, lift.
Yeah, we should be inhaling as we go down. And that way we can exhale and come up. All right, again, the most important part is to breathe. Let's do it 2 more times on each side. I'm not going to talk through everything. I want you to kind of go through it in a very sort of rigid, paced flow at your own pace. Try not to rush it. Think about each movement. We're lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. The abs are engaged the whole time. We're specifically pulling our knee to 90 degrees, no further. We're rotating, keeping both shoulder blades off the ground. We're coming back to center. Abs are still nice and tight. We're straightening the leg, really squeezing the quads. And then we're lowering our shoulders with control because each movement is very purposeful. Last time, lift, leg, rotates, center, leg lowers, shoulder lowers. Last time, lift, leg, rotates, center, reach, and down. Good. Hopefully, that's lots in the abdominals. Okay. We're going to do our heel lifts again. So these are heels are together. This toes turned out. Stack the hands under the forehead. You're going to squeeze the butt, squeeze the heel, and lift the knees a little bit. Like this. Okay? You don't need to separate your heels, keep them together, but really squeeze your heels together as you lift the knees. And then when you lower the knees, you don't have to squeeze your heels together. It's just going to stay attached or connected. Okay? If you want, lift the upper body as well. But focus here is on the lower body. So first the lower body. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Squeeze the butt. When you're in your stomach, you can inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Doesn't matter. I usually just default to whatever is more challenging. That's my exhale. Now here I'm going to lift my stacked arms. Everything comes up. There's a lot of work. This is a lot of work for your spine muscles because you're lifting the weight of your arms. However, having said that, your knees are bent. So it's a little shorter lever in the legs. Give me 4. And 3. When you lift the legs, the knees, the thighs, don't forget to squeeze the heels. I say that because it's really easy to not squeeze the heels. You can easily squeeze the butt, lift the legs, and just keep the heels connected. All right. Definitely take the stretch here. So that's one way of working your spine, right? When you're arching your back. So we haven't done a plank yet on our wrist. So we're going to do that. One benefit to doing planks on the wrist is you do use more triceps and arms, and it also allows you to pull your knees in and underneath your body. So if you want to hold a plank, if you want to do any other variation of plank, you may do that. Here's the exercise. I'm actually pulling my back knee in just so I can show you that I'm bringing it towards you at the front. I pull my knee in and I swing it across the midline. So what's happening here? There's rotation, sorry, not here, but in the bottom part of my body. Your hands stay stuck underneath the shoulders. So rotate the lower part of your body. So I am spilling the hot chocolates. Here I'm spilling the hot chocolate to the back. And here I'm spilling it to the front. Now there is no requirement of how much you need to rotate. I'm just bringing my knee across the body. And as I do that, I'm using my obliques with rotation, and my pelvis drops on one side. Intentional dropping. Usually we try to keep our pelvis very still, but not for this exercise. Last time. So make sure you've done equal times for the right and for the left leg.
That's the benefit of doing one on each side is you don't have to count. You know you're symmetrical. All right, it's time for some teasers. Teaser is like the roll up, but our legs are starting off the ground. This is just one variation of it. I'm actually going to do a few teasers with the legs starting from the ground after this. So biceps by the ears. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. Nod the chin. You got to get your shoulder blades up first. Then extend the leg, roll up. Bend the knees again if you have to. Find your balance. Inhale. Exhale to counterbalance the roll down. To control it, we got to extend the legs. Roll down and here. Let's do 4 like this, and then I'm going to do 4 with another variation. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders, and exhale, spine. Option to keep the legs straight. Exhale, reach. So if you keep your legs straight, you just don't have to bend it again. I mean, you don't have to straighten it again. Arms, head, shoulders. So I keep my legs straight here. Inhale, pause. Exhale, I just start rolling down because my legs are already in position. They're already in that straightened position. Looking for a nice, smooth lift off and roll down. That's the main goal of Pilates, is that you flow and smoothly transition from one position to the next, as opposed to relying on momentum. So I'm going to do a few teasers with the legs starting on the ground. This might look a little more choppy. Admittedly, this is something I'm still working on. So inhale, the same way we start. Arms, head, shoulder blades. You got to get the shoulder blades up. And then from there, you roll up here. Inhale. And then exhale, instead of just extending your legs out, you reach it more towards the floor. But it helps you counterbalance. Then my heel hits, my lower back hits. I roll down. Let's try it a little smoother. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Roll up. Inhale. Exhale, open up. Roll down. Roll up. Straight leg version. Roll down. A couple more times. You can do bent knee or straight leg. Feet from the ground. Or feet up in the air to start. One more. I know, I probably did extra. Sorry about that. All right, let's kind of do an ab exercise, but it's also a stretch. So this is single leg circling. When you circle, you can get hip range of motion. You can keep the bottom leg straight if you want. Definitely get a little more hamstring stretch. If you feel like you're limited in the range of motion, then bend the other leg. Inhale at the top of the circle. Exhale at the bottom. It's not necessarily just about making the biggest circle you can make. It's about keeping your abdominals stable. If you don't have stable abs, you can just tilt and fall all the way over. Press into the floor. Keep your leg as straight as can be. Fire up those quads. Reverse direction. Inhale. Exhale. So I feel my abdominals intensely this whole time because it's working that hard so that my body doesn't shift side to side. My leg is long. It's not long by standards. I'm a short person, but the point is that it's going beyond my boundaries. So it wants my body to go this way, but I'm really working hard to prevent it. Switch legs. Inhale at the top, exhale at the bottom. You might find that you have more range of motion and more flexibility in one leg compared to the other. But regardless, the leg is moving in the hip socket joint and nothing else in your body is moving. Inhale at the top, exhale at the bottom. All right, a lot of times when people are doing this, they ask me, what is the point of this exercise? It feels like nothing.
And yeah, it's absolutely true. This exercise can feel like nothing if we weren't thinking about what we're targeting. So again, abdominal stability, imprinting the lower back, working the quads, keeping the legs straight. You can flex the foot if you want, get a little more calf stretch, especially as you lift your leg up vertically. And we're getting range of motion in our hips, which we don't often do if all we do is sit all day, right? We're gonna get this range of motion in our hips. All right. And now for the challenge, both legs. If I turn this way, both legs. Don't go too far, you're gonna completely fall over. Press into the floor, go as far as you can, as low as you can. I'm gonna keep the lights off my wall here. Reverse direction. Inhale at the top, exhale at the bottom. So again, don't go too far left and right. Go enough to challenge yourself, challenge your abs, and not till you fall over. Keep reversing direction. Let's do 3 times each side. And notice we get pretty low here, how challenging it is to maintain that imprint. So you decide how low you want to take both your legs, keeping in mind your legs are straight as opposed to being bent. Now, if I did this exercise, circle my legs with my knees bent, it feels completely different. Okay, I'm going to add one more variation to this, and you absolutely don't have to do it. It's adding the hip raise. So you might need a little momentum, and that's okay. So come down, and as you circle up, don't worry about the shape you're making. Crunch there. It looks more like a teardrop. So circle down. Here, let me go this way. You circle down this way. Come back to center and lift. I'm already back to center by the time I do the hip lift. So you're not like hip lifting on only one side of your spine, okay? Make sure you're centered. So I'm going down to the front. Sorry, I'm going to my left. I'm coming up on my right. I'm hitting the center and I lift. But because I'm circling up, there's a little bit of that momentum. I'm going down on my right, up on my left. And as I sweep up and come to center and I lift. Down on the left, up on the right, and lift. Down on the right, up on the left, and lift. All right? That's okay if you have your knees bent a little bit. These are just ways of layering, progressing different exercises. All right, finish up on the last 1 or 2, unless you feel like doing 10 more. And I'm just gonna finish with a little bit of stretch. Let's just come back to our hands and knees here, getting the wrist underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Find your C curve, your spine flexion. All the way to the other extreme, find your arch. So your spine extension. And then find your neutral right in between. And then look over one shoulder without rotating. That's your lateral bend. Right? So it's like a C curve, but laterally. This is a forward and back C curve. Now laterally, so you look over your other shoulder. So your spine curves side to side. Good. And then the final thing your spine can do is it rotates. So if you string one arm underneath, that's rotation. All great things that we want our spine to always be able to do. We want our spine to maintain this mobility. Switch sides. And what can happen? So feel free to take a few more smiles and frowns here with your spine. I should call them smiles and rainbows. Everything needs to be happy with. So anyways, if we get stuck like this, this is usually the position that we can't get out of, and we're stiff, and we get stuck there. And then that's not good.
Well, thank you so much for joining me for Pilates. Yet another amazing class with you guys. I'm not talking about myself being amazing. You guys are amazing.